As a final expense telesales agent, I know everyone out there knows what the friend zone means in just generic terms, but are you aware that you could actually be entering into friend zone in the middle of your presentations and you will step outside of what I call the professional zone, which is where you need to stay in. So if you want to understand my thoughts, my process, and how I stay in the professional zone throughout the entire sales process, please stay tuned because this video is for you. But first, if we have not yet met, hello and welcome. My name is Ashley. I'm a final expense telesales agent. I have managed to figure out how to crush it in this space while still being a mom, still being a wife, and really earning 20 to 30,000 in annualized premium at a part-time capacity. This business is a very simple business. It's not easy, but it is simple. And now I'm on a mission to pour into other agents to help them achieve the same level of success. Now, as I start bringing on more agents to my team and I'm listening to more and more calls and different approaches that different agents take, it really is kind of eye-opening for me. I have learned that a lot of agents get stuck in this false belief of I need to find something with the client on the other side of the phone that I have a commonality with. If I can find a common ground, then Mildred or Milton will trust me. And that is not the case. People do not buy from their friends. People buy from those who they trust enough to know that they're in good, capable hands. What happens is, and what I've seen happen with agents, is you will derail the presentation to start talking about anything really. And the problem with it is it's not very organic. You're doing it with the purpose of trying to feel good about being a salesperson on the other side of the phone. And so it kind of sounds something like this, where you might be like, okay, and you said you're in this state of the beautiful state of Florida. Is that correct? Okay, well, how's the weather over there? That is like the worst question that you could ask. How's the weather? Do you think that Mildred genuinely believes that you care how the weather is in Florida? Because realistically, it's 2025. We could Google what the weather's like in Florida. Like, do you genuinely care? Is that what Mildred came to do? Did she scroll on Facebook, fill out a form so she could have small talk with a stranger she doesn't even know who's trying to sell her something? No. So I want everyone to take a realistic approach to the sales process because there's a lot of pitfalls. You can ask a lot of questions that are just like, oh, what do you like to do in your free time? Oh, you like to go fishing. Oh my gosh, I went fishing last summer at camp down in, the river where my cousin who's homeless stays in an RV. Like, who cares? I don't I don't mean to say this to offend, although it might offend some agents. I say this because you have to really put yourself in the position of Mildred. If you had gotten a call from, call it, I don't know, like SiriusXM or Allstate is trying to sell you on car insurance. And if Bob on the other side of the line was like, hey, how's the weather over there, Ashley, in Texas? I would be like, it's sunny, it's nice. Yeah, it was a good day. Oh, okay. Well, are you happy? Are you excited that spring's coming? And I'd be like, yeah, I guess. I would not appreciate him asking me that because that's not the point of the call, right? And so, in order to stay in the professional zone, you need to stick to what's really important, and that's finding the need, finding the gap for Mildred. Why did she click on the ad? It wasn't to talk about the weather. It wasn't to talk about her hobbies. It wasn't to do anything other than talk about the pain that she's feeling that needs to be filled. So, in order to stay in professional zone, you need to focus on everything related to her needs and her concerns. And it sounds like you need to stick to your script because you can ask a lot of questions and you can make the conversation feel like you are a trustable individual without even having to find the common ground of the weather or common ground of the hobby. You can do that by being sincere in your approach of asking Mildred questions. So Mildred, I guess, what kind of had you thinking that now was a good time to look into some life insurance? Mildred, I guess God forbid if something happened to you later this week, who is the one in charge of going down to the funeral home and really forking over all the money to the funeral director? God forbid if you don't have a plan B in place, I guess what's going to happen to your granddaughter, Sarah? What does that look like for her? These are the questions that a professional asks. A friend will ask, how was the storm last night? I heard that there was twisters that were blowing through Mississippi. Did you see CNN? Did you watch what, so and so said? And when you start having those types of conversations, or when Mildred starts telling you about, a birthday party that she went to last week at a nursing home, you are completely off topic and you have entered the friend zone. And when you enter the friend zone, it is very hard to make a sale because you are not focused on the need, you're not focused on the pain, you have left professionalism and you're in buddy system. And that is a very slippery slope. And I see agents fall into it time and time and time again. So my advice is to make sure you have a really good script. Focus on the script and finding the need, extrapolating the pain, and focus on Mildred. Mildred doesn't care about you and your baseball game that you went to last week. What she cares about is herself and her family and her loved ones. And if she can't tell that you're the professional and you're the one to hold her by the hand and walk her through this process because you're going to put her in the best possible position, she's not going to buy from you. People do not buy from their friends. They buy things like life insurance from the professionals that they trust, the professionals that they know put them in a good plan so that when they die, when they're gone, they know their loved ones are taken care of. And that's what's important. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please comment below. Genuinely interested to hear, are you the type of agent who kind of lives in the friend zone? Or are you the type of agent who stays in professional zone? I am the type of agent where I stay and swim in professional zone. Most of my clients don't even know that I have children. They don't know that I'm married. They don't know that I live in Texas. They know nothing about me because the entire conversation is about them, their need, their pain, and their why. If you find this content helpful and you're the type of agent who wants to stay in the professional zone, smash that subscribe button and I will see you in the next video.